Welcome. My name is Roger Long. I'm an artist that lives in Oregon, in Cascadia, the land of the Evergreens. Welcome to the Evergreens and Salmon land. I'd like to read a little poem to you about Salmon land, which is right here. The setting is just at the end of morning when the moon is setting over the Pacific Ocean. And we're west over Sunset Point of the Rogue River in southern Oregon. Here's a thought. On the waters do I see silhouettes shining silvery, with moonlight on the western shore to evergreen hills with mist and more. The waters speak of shining examples of life that wants to be, that God created on this earth to live with you and me. Chautauqua meetings, the bird of prey, an Indian brave, a bear with bear, a beaver and raccoon, with a fishing tail with eagle's head and coyote beneath the moon. And lastly, to us, the ocean's quest, a silver gray whale at rest. This is a print, a signed and numbered print that, Salmon land depicts the land where the evergreens grow. The evergreens have a very good way of becoming one with us by making of sweet waters. And the Indian brave in southern Oregon by the name of Edison Chiloquin gave us a beautiful recipe of how to become a Cascadian. Let me show you how. We will go into the kitchen with these branches, fresh picked branches of the Douglas fir, and show you how Edison Chiloquin made sweet waters in the days of yore. Let's go do that. Yeah, okay. All evergreens grow the same. This is last year's growth. This bending it, breaking this off. When you want to make branch water, whether any tree with needles will make branch water. This is the end new growth that started last May of the Douglas fir. This is what you'll break off and wash and clean. So let's get about a half a dozen of these. Mostly you might have a little knife, but this way you can just bend it over like this and break it off. For a family, you'd want to get about a half a dozen sprigs for one person, or maybe a dozen for the whole family for the week. Let's go to the kitchen and wash and clean these now. But whether it's a Douglas fir, noble fir, Pacific silver fir, all the trees with needles, this is what we're going to wash and clean. This is what blooms in May, new growth. And so this is what you'll make branch water branch water with each week from your firs, pines, or spruce, or hemlocks. And you want to have healthy new growth all the time. Let's go to the kitchen and wash these off. Okay? Go down through the bark here. This is another Douglas fir, and over here, here's the grand fir. Notice the grand fir here has larger needles. Grand. You can make branch water too. Let's wash and clean our Douglas fir or evergreen branch water. Here it's winter time, so these have had a little bit of dust on it. So we want to turn on the water and take a nice hand scrubbing brush and put it down on the floor and scrub both sides under the water. Hit it on the side and clean until all the dust particles and loose needles have come off. And then you'll want to set these aside and do all your tricks. Now that was Douglas fir. This is grand fir. Wash and clean both sides. And the new growth is quite new, but this is where you'll want to have this is the best flavorful needles that will draw the water in, and through the little 1 micron pores of all the needles, you'll be able to get the vitamin C, the polyphenols that is in the chlorophyll of the needle for the next 4 days while this is setting and drawing water from your filtered city water that you have in your water container. Pine trees have the long needle pines, like your ponderosa and white pine. You'll want to pull the needles off the candle here and bundle them with some wax dental floss. But for your firs and your hemlocks and your Sitka spruce, all the trees with short needles, you'll want to do this, simply wash and clean them. And we will be putting these into a bag of cheesecloth. And here's a basket of a half a dozen sprigs that we've done, and simply these will be placed in, and I put them in the cheesecloth so that the needles will stay healthy and they'll stay attached to the branch for the next 4 days. But just to make sure that none of these get stuck in the spigot of the water spigot of the container that you're using, you want to put it in cheesecloth. This would be nice. Oops. A little overhand knot. That contains it. Okay. Because this is not going to be in the refrigerator, you want to, after you push the cheesecloth branches inside, you'll want to cover this with ice and keep this iced. And you do this at the end of the day. And by breakfast the next morning for the next 4 days, as you drink water at breakfast time, you'll fill it up with more filtered water and add more ice. And these branches will stay alive and give you sweet water for the next 4 days. So may the forest be with you. Oh, it's on now. May the forest be with you. This Douglas fir sprig is the tip top of these giants of Cascadia. And this is a serendipitous painting of the forest west of the Cascades. This is kind of a barcode of all the different sands of the Pacific Northwest, the West Coast, of California, Oregon, and Washington. And I emulated the greatest life force on earth of the trunks of the evergreen forest trees. I did this for a couple of reasons. To show the forest and to let the trunks be the vertical plane in which I could introduce our alphabet into an upright and balanced living script. Focus in on this, and as you can see, this is a close-up of the alphabet from A to Z.
Yeah, thank you.
This is on the back of a living script bookmark that I make for our guests who enjoy the alphabet. And basically, on the back of the bookmark reads a heart-opening, whole-thought living script with a tale for remembering. The tale is about time, action, life, eternal. Time is expressed with horizontal lines in our alphabet and numbers. Action is expressed with diagonal lines. The letters C, K, Q, X, for instance. Life, in letters like H, I, J, K, L, is expressed with the vertical line. And circles are for the eternal earth, sun, and cycles of life. So this is the essence of the rainbow planet's life longhand for our infinite relations to everything that we can think of. Here's your alphabet from A to M and N to Z. And the rainbow planet's numbers from 0 to 10 is a view of life growing up. And if you animate one number upward and outward for answers, their shapes will tell the story of where life comes from and how it grows up to life eternal. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3's on this side, 4's on this side, 5's on this side, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. It's the DNA of life. Putting all these numbers together, starting with the sun at 0, 1, and then going to 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, is composed of 2 circles, the sun and the earth, and 2 arrows, the life force of the sun coming down, and from earth, between earth and heaven, and the sun is life, and this is life. This is us, the circle in the center. So from 0 to 5, here's a 5-word progression that starts with L-I-T-E, light. And light came to earth, and from light, life was born. And it started growing. And as it grew, life grew to live. And live grew to love. And love grew to joy. And from 0 to 5. And from 6 to 10, you go from joy to love to live to life and back to life. So this is a life force journey, as illustrated in Earth's life force number mandala. This little triangle on top of your head is a funnel of knowledge, you might say, and it's always blooming from above. When you say a prayer, you ask for answers, you get it from eternal life from above, and it comes down, and you're holding on to the forest force. And as it goes upward and outward, as this six blooming from within, blooming within the atmospheres of life, goes up, and its full flower is heaven. And heaven is all of life on earth, and the atmospheres of earth that was born from the heart of the matter going up. It goes on and on, but nice pictogram. Let's go from here to Mother Earth and Child Number Mandala.
Okay.
This is a triptych of our living script. The center panel being the guardian of the four seasons of spring, summer, autumn, and winter. This is the word seasons. From our right hand there's the alphabet from A to Z. This panel on the left is the back of our living script bookmark showing the heart opening whole thought living script alphabet from A to Z. And the left side is the illustration of the numbers evolving from 0, 1, 2, into 3, into 4, into 5, into 6, into 7, into 8, into 9, and into 10. These four symbols for the four seasons, SUMT, the sum total of the four seasons, starts with the seed of spring. And the motion of the four seasons is basically life follows the sun. Spring, summer, autumn, winter. So the seed of spring, summer's growth, autumn's harvest, life returning to earth, life returned below the plane of time and contained within Mother Earth, and the seeds of the next year's generation. This is a nice exercise to do for your spirit and for realizing the spirit of the shapes of the Arabic numbers. And so by animating 0 into a seed and then drawing out the life force into 1 shows how the life force is generated from the universe. Everything and nothing before there is anything 0. And condensing it down, making the earth, making the suns, making the seeds, and then drawing out the life force. This, from 0 to 4, is programming life. And programming life is when the life force, 1 starting to 2, is when it's sprouted like the grasses and starting its roots and springing forth, growing. This is creating the atmospheres of the earth. And so here's spring, summer, and autumn is when it made its full cycle for the year. And when it made its full cycle and the life detaches itself from time and rises like the seeds on the dandelion or whatever and blows away. Let's go on a life journey. And let's let the Arabic numbers from 0 to 10 be the path for us to take. So this being 0, I said once, okay. First it starts with this, life eternal, D. In the beginning there was D. And D represents life eternal. And there was a command given to D, and that was to do. And so, to do was to create solar systems and stars and all these eternal things in the heavens. And after do, it was time to put the spirit into that. And so the spirit was dawn, to dawn the spirit. N represents your invisible energy. And so dew was dawn, to dawn. And so the solar systems and the earth was made and all. So the Creator put the Spirit onto earth, and he dawned the Spirit onto earth. And after the Spirit came down and touched the plane of time, D-O-N went down, and the equal amount from heaven and the equal amount of earth met at the plane of time, and dawn at that instant was done. D-O-N-E. And so here, dawn is done. So after it was done, the Creator said, okay, you're okay, I'm going to leave now because it's done. And so the Creator left. You're focusing in here? The Creator left, and after it was done, the Creator rose and went back into all the heavens and left one. There's D, eternal life up here, and here's one. So one is your inner spirit with the eternal inner spirit. One is you and I and all of the life forces on earth. And so the one changed and continued to grow, and here's an eternal seed sprouting, and one became ones, more than one, many ones. And so we'll take the ones and we'll start a story. So we'll go once upon a time. There was a life force born to grow upon earth. Here's earth, here's the life force growing upon time, and that's a symbol for earth. That life force in time is where it was born. That's it. And this is Mother Earth. Upon earth. The story is told here on earth. So the story starts like this. And we just start with the numbers. Okay, starting with the universe, condensing it into a seed, the seed was drawn out the life force into one. One is the life force. And now it starts to grow. The life force on Earth is going to make the oxygen, the atmospheres of Earth. And so the number one sprouted, the pairing and rooting. And J, like J, this is upside down, like the letter J, is like just beginning. Ching. Well, this just beginning of the life forces is creating oxygen, the atmospheres of Earth. And so as spring, summer, autumn comes, autumn is when the whole cycle has been created and comes back, creating the heart of the matter on time. The old life force, the old life force rises up into the flower, into the seed, the dandelion, going to blow away and is upward rising. This creates the heart of the matter. This is the heart of the matter on time. That's the number 2. 2. And 2 is going to go upward and outward. So this is the 2 is growing upward and outward, filling, like a balloon filling with air. And the earth, the end of time, it's going to cover the whole face of the earth. So it keeps covering until the whole face of the earth is covered with these life forces growing, creating the atmosphere. And the heart goes upward and outward until it creates a triangle. This is the full flower of the heart. So this triangle is the third dimension where life is going to happen. The top part of the number 3. And the circle on the bottom is time eternal. So this is life and time eternal. 3. The Trinity, this is, okay. So this is ready. We're ready to have a place to be born. So now it's time for the Trinity to go into Mother Earth. And so the triangle is starting the DNA spiraling. So the triangle will become a wedge, become a vertical line going in, and Mother Earth is going to meet the life force halfway. So here's 3 changing into 4. Well, 3 changes into it first. And it is a picture of life and time. So life goes into time. Mother Earth has received it, and she wakes up and she has received it. So as upon receiving it, this is all the life forces growing. She gives thanks by raising her arms, being the life forces, and thanking the sun and the comets that brought the waters to earth, and creating a trident of the first four. This four, these are tridents. And so she gave these tridents to all the gods and goddesses of the waters of earth. Portlandia and Poseidon and Neptune and Shiva received a trident because they're the keepers of the life force of the waters of life on earth. And so finally when the hands touch the life force like this, it becomes the arrow pointing upward, showing the direction of life, where life grows. So the four is the force, and the force is the forest, for us, for rest, and on and on and on and on and on. So may the force be with you. So look what happens when the force grows up. The triangle is the earth, volcano, growing, and as it grows to become 5, look how it reflects 10. 5 and 5 are 10. So now 4 is going to go up. It's time here. 4 is the life force. This is life as we know it begins here. The force. So 5 becomes a pictogram of the force turning into the eternal seed of life, and the seed of life is like the seed has been planted in the earth, and the life force is growing up and right to the plane of time. The top part of the number 5 is the earth, surface of the earth. And this is like a seed sprouting ready to be born. So all the seeds of life on earth are ready to be born. So 5 to 6 is the introduction of the life force breaking through the plane of time and sprouting into the living space of life, the atmospheres on earth. So this is a joyful child. The sprouting in the true dimension of life is everything above the plane of time. Like the seed of a redwood is only the size of the end of a pencil, but look how giant the tree is once it has given the opportunity of going above the plane of time. So 5 into 6 is a pictogram of the sprouting of life and time, the plane of time going around and creating a greenhouse or eternal place for the blossom, for the life sprouting to grow within the eternal plane of time, the atmospheres of time, 6. So this is when the child goes to school. We're just being born, and all around us is of the place where our life is going to be. So 6 to 7 is the blossom to the flower. 7 to each one of us is when we have grown up and filled space and say, oh, this is the place I love. This is my place. 7 is heaven. It's all of life that lives and grows and breathes and moves in the atmospheres of earth. Heaven is above earth. It sure is. Here we are, folks. So once you have gone to the full flower, what do we do with our full flower? There's another generation of life that's following us. We've got to take what has been given to us and give it back in a special package so that the remembering story will be so beautiful the children that are following us will honor it and care for everything that's living and growing around us to make room. So 8, mealtime, 8, you know when you ate, is heaven reflected. You got to give it all back. Give it all back. This is great. Isn't that what is that? Oh, so neat. Oh, the Arabic. What a nice story they gave us. Yeah, look at that. I mean, this is just one of the stories. Anyway, so 8 to 9 is when that which has been given. I mean, you and I are going to be leaving one of these days. And so 9 is when that which was there, if it goes down and is born in the memory story, it's 9 is this one, that which was left goes down and blooms within that which received it. Taken time and it's planted right, it will cloudly grow. 9 is blooming from above. It's like the memory goes down and blooms within the heart of the next life. So 9 blooming from above is like answers to your prayer, wings of an angel. I'll show you a picture. And so 9 is blooming from above, and when it reaches the other side of your eternalness, and here it becomes 9 into 10, life eternal. And so the number 10, or the letter D, is as far as you go in the numbers and in the letters. Let me show you Mother Earth and Child number 1. We'll take this down. Take this down. And I'll show you this one. Someone hold the got it? What's that? This is a number mandala. A mandala is a symmetrical shape that one meditates on. And so these are all the numbers from 0 to 10 made into what I call Mother Earth and Child number mandala. Let's take a journey from 0 to 10. I can kind of give you a sketch of what she looks like. Okay, here's 0. This is her third eye, or eternity on her mind. 1 is the life force, the breath of life, her nose. 2, like her eyes and mouth. This is the heart of the matter, her eyes and mouth. See and say the sounds. This is her face. This is her face. The bottom part of the 3 and the top part of the 3 is like the funnel of knowledge, or the atmospheres of Earth where all of life will be. And she's caring for that by holding it in her arms. 4 is, she's the force. 4 is the force. This is the top part of her body, 4. 5 is the rest of her body, which encompasses all of Earth and the atmospheres of Earth that are above her. 6 here is life blooming within the atmospheres of Earth. 7 is heaven, or the womb of life. 7 is heaven within the atmospheres of Earth. 8 is heaven and earth combined. 7, 8. 9, like wings of an angel blooming from above, is the new teacher of life eternal, 10. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I said, well, we've got to put everything in here. So let's put the letters here. And so we'll go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, a dot or a line, J, K, L, M, and then on this side we'll do N, O, P, Q, R. When you are, your eternal life is radiating what you are. Action letters are diagonal lines, C, K, Q, X, and then you are. Action line is action is the story of action. Life is the vertical lines, U-R-S. T is like life with lens expressing U, a container B, valley, W, X, Y, and Z. So we took the letters and we made a word. For this to always be, there's one quality that Mother Earth in all of life has to give, and that's L-O-V-E, love. And taking it in through time and linking them all together, love links. This is love all the way around the atmospheres of where life is. And there was a song in the 70s when I painted this, or carved it in relief in caustic and made stone. There was a song and it says, do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? Love is the opening door. Love is what we came here for. No one could offer you more. Do you know what I mean? One to 10, the numbers, and 1 to 10, the numbers here, and here's the numbers in mandala here, and there's there's an arch this way and an arch this way, and it makes a word A, U, and M. And this is so I enjoy doing that. Let's go to a story now. Taking the letters, and this painting here is a relief of acrylic and stone and linen of Mother Earth's snowflakes in their story. So let's read a story about the snowflakes in living script. Surely the snowflakes are lovely images of love. Snowflakes white, floating by the window, like countless stars, bringing gifts to earth. Each lovely snowflake, a jewel to behold, a special moment and a special message when it touches the receptive earth, to which always is its journey's end. The earth embracing it wherever it falls, and the vapors that ascend into the heavens to create the snow is now returning to embrace that which gives it existence. The winter snowfields of infinite embraces greet the living sun to melt it back into the receptive earth. And the earth shall receive it and with it give life once again and again. A special moment, a jewel to behold. Each lovely snowflake bringing gifts to earth, like countless stars floating by the window. Snowflakes white, lovely images of love, surely the snowflakes are. Now I'd like to tell you a story about thunder light of the mountain top and about the waters of earth. Let me show you this. So first we'll read this story about the Indians of the Pacific Northwest. And the Indians of the Pacific Northwest that lived on the mighty Columbia River carved petroglyphs about the animals and people and the fish and the forests. And the Quinault Indians of the Washington coast have a prayer that their children say today. And because of this 21st century need, this is what they say, and they try to live up to it. May the children of earth make the forests grow dense, help the wildlife return in abundance, and cause the fish to fill the rivers. After going to the Oregon Historical Society and studying these petroglyphs, I realized that the petroglyphs that were carved on the rocks of the Columbia River reflected this story. the children of earth planting evergreens in the forest, and all the eagle and the deer and all the creatures, the wildlife, returning in abundance, and the petroglyphs of all the salmon and cause the fish to fill the rivers, returning to the evergreen forests. They're coming back home. So long live the Chinook salmon forests. And on the back of this painting is a home to thunder light. Let's read the living script story that's on the back of this. This banner is going to be given to the Celilo Indians by the Dalles Dam on the Columbia River for their longhouse. And you'll be able to read it there. Here's our alphabet starting over here, and this reads from left to right. Let's read the story. This was a provenance of a triptych I made for George Bell in the 60s of a night. There's an impasto painting, black, whites, and browns of the Cascade Range in an evening of thunder and lightning and rain and snow. Rugged, rugged, rugged. And so he says, Roger, I don't have a provenance. Would you write me his provenance? I said, sure. And so by centering in and answering his prayer, this is what came through me. In the distance, beneath the clouds of winter, I see the ageless mountain of thunder light calling to me to tell her story. She looks at me now as she did when I was a child. The mother of mountains, the beginning of life, and the possessor of time. Upon her changing surfaces, unfolding daily, is written the path of life, which all her rivers must find. Were her rivers. And the thunder light of winter she emitted told me again that evening is coming, and we all must listen to her. For now, as it was then, the pure rivers of life begin the journey from the mountaintop in thunder light. As you, the waters of life, spring forth from my side to flow down the mountain, each in its own way has a path cut out before it. The waters of the past have made the way clear. Now it is time to travel the river path once more. As you flow in your own way, the joy of life belongs to all you touch and care for. Examine each grain of sand, each pebble, each stone, and each rock, for their story is for you to understand. Remember always, my pure waters, you alone possess the joy of giving life to all the seeds of nature's kingdom. And the joy of watching it take hold and grow on this sanctuary of earth is a gift given only to the ones that have given of themselves. Enjoy my special paths, for you should travel them as if it were only once. Soon your journey will find the great sea, where, if all has been examined, given, and understood, your being will not have to climb the mountain to begin again and again, but to flow throughout the great sea of eternity. Keep your waters pure, so you may use your eyes on your journey. Be the river of searching and giving, to be all the rivers as you go. Enjoy the other rivers that will join you on your way. The joys you do not see in your beginnings will be given to you by the clear waters of your fellow rivers. This is my gift to you, O special rivers. Mother Earth's a pretty good place to live. I think it's the only place to live. And we've got to take very good care of her. So be a good Cascadian, pick cones, grow evergreens, make branch water, and may the forest be with you.
It's on.
This was a painting that we did in the 60s called The Threads of Time. And it's four panels that was of Eastern Oregon looking west at sunset time of the Cascade Range. And the Threads of Times, after pulling out the linen threads of this canvas that was laid here, I wrote this free verse and then put it on the painting, and from the head to the feet of Mother Earth in repose, the Threads of Time starts like this. Here's spring, summer, autumn, and winter, and it reads like this. I'll read it here, or I can read it here, and this is what the words came from this painting. So as I was pulling the warp out of the linen, these were the thoughts, and it reads like this: ends of the beginnings of life, give forth to the light. Now the life ends to be woven again and again into new folds of time. Time passes before me as countless life ends are brought forth. Time.
Roger. Let's stop.
This four-panel quatrain is called The Threads of Time. And it's of the Cascade Range in Eastern Oregon, looking west at sunset time. And the Threads of Time, the words were inspired when I was taking the warp out of the linen to make the life ends of the wheat fields and the grasses of Eastern Oregon. So what is written here is also written down here in this panel here. Let us start from the right and read the writing. The time unravels, and the beautiful ends of the beginnings of life give forth to the light. Now the life ends to be woven again and again into new folds of time. Time passes before me as countless life ends are brought forth. Time stops for an instant. Life resting motionless before me, woven at my feet in times past, ready for the new threads of time to unfold about life's waiting limbs. So this is the seed of spring, you is summer's growth, M is autumn's branches bending with fruit and life returning to earth, and T in winter is life returned below the plane of time and contained within Mother Earth and the seeds of next year. And so here's spring, summer, autumn, winter in the panels up above.
Can you say that again?
And so here's spring, summer, autumn, and winter in the four-panel quatrain above. So we'll continue reading, and it starts right here. And holding the threads of time, I count and stop, to touch and choose, unfaltering each time. For it is there to grasp a hold of, to touch and embrace, to be drawn out and used again, a pattern for the future. Life's strands, sometimes after time has been smoothly slipping by, reach out together and stop it in its grasp, always in the same fashion, at the same time in time. So let's go from the threads of time to a harmonious rising, which is a painting I did in 1999 when in March we had the second full moon in March. Well, a harmonious rising happens in spring, and the trumpeter swans, the tundra swans that live on Solis Island and in the Columbia take that signal as the time to fly north to the greening tundras of home. And so in the quietness in the evening time under the full moon, this was the time for these 22 trumpeter swans to rise and use the moonlight to light their way to the greening tundras of home. So from the Columbia River down south, they flew, rose up by Mount Hood into the full moonlit sky, turned, headed north, and started their journey to their homeland, where their birthplace is. This is a relief in caustic, carved and painted on Upson board. A technique that I started using in the 60s when I was in the Presidential Honor Guard back in Washington, D.C. Now let's go to the life that's in the river, the salmon. As we go up the Columbia River, one of the tributaries is the John Day River, and this is the Nature Conservancy's 1,200 acres of the middle fork of the John Day River. This painting is called Return to Forest, and these are two male and a female spring chinook. This is an anadromous wild salmon. This is a hatchery salmon that doesn't have as adipose skin. So as the salmon are cycling home to their birthplace in the evergreens of ponderosa pine and the evergreens of eastern Oregon, here's a thought in living script about returning to the forest. Trees that live for eagle, salmon, deer, porcupine, squirrel, owl, swallow, and you, to name a few, the Nature Conservancy. The mate to return to forest is Metolius homecoming. And Metolius homecoming, this is Mount Jefferson and Camp Sherman of the time when there was no dam and there were Chinook salmon besides the sockeye salmon that came home to the headwaters of the Metolius River. So this just says to the Metolius, and here's your two spring Chinooks. Let me show you the other 5 species of salmon that are home in Cascadia. First, let me show you what this spring Chinook salmon looks like in the fall when they have spawned. This is a male and female Chinook salmon. This is a life-size print of 2 salmon that spawned successfully in the Sandy River, one of the tributaries of the Mount Hood National Forest, in the year 1991 when we had the total solar eclipse in the Pacific. So this is called a solar wedding. Each year we donate one of these as the River Steward Award at the Salmon Festival at Oxbow Park off the Columbia River. The next salmon I'd like to illustrate are the spawn coho salmon from the Alsea River on the coast. This is a male, female, and jack coho salmon of the coastal rivers. The next species from the coastal rivers this is the steelhead trouter from the salmon family, and this is what the steelhead look like. The difference between the steelhead and the snook and the other types is that this fin here is more of a vertical instead of a diagonal, as you'll see in the next ones. There's the male, the female, and the jack. This is the only salmon that, like the Atlantic salmon, can return to the ocean and return to the evergreen rainforest and spawn more than once. The next salmon are the sockeye salmons of the Cedar River east of Seattle. This is the next smaller type of salmon. These are the ones that are red with the green heads, the male, the female, and they're colorful, and their meats are very, very red. The second to last are the dog chum salmon, and these are the dog chum salmon of Hood's Canal and other coastal streams, because they transform and change and get their teeth and their big beaks very, very soon in life, and they can only go a short distance before they are ready to spawn. So the coastal streams is where their home is. And lastly is the smallest of the salmon species, and this is the backside. Then in mica of the pink hump salmon. This is the male pink hump salmon, and this is the front side. and they're the tiniest scales. The scales are only like an eighth of an inch, very small. Female and the male pink hump salmon. So those are the 6 species of salmon. Hopefully these salmon prints, Iitaku salmon prints that are printed from the actual salmon, can someday become a 40-cent salmon stamp for America, so that the world who loves salmon can mail their letters with this salmon stamp, and hopefully that the 7 cents can come back to the Cascades and buy water storage containers for every elementary school, so that every child that begins school can take that water and start growing their life support system of 1,000 seedlings contained in 2 handfuls of evergreen cones around the playground. And in the winter of their first year, they can be transplanted in the watershed of Bull Run watershed and in our homes and communities and properties, and that each child can start tasting the sweet waters at home by making evergreen branch water. Thank you for joining me on our quest into Cascadia. Maybe.
Can you say that again?
Okay, thanks.
Wait a second. Okay.
Thanks for joining.
Go ahead.
Thanks for joining me in Cascadia, where the salmon thrive and where the sweet waters of home are plentiful. May we continue our journey, and may we share a cup of branch water with each other sometime in the near future.